Okay, I'm gonna do a reading here on the trucker protest. So I'm looking at the one in Canada. I mean, actually, not even. So there's about to be another one in Europe, apparently. So the trucker protests, right? The truckers actually have power in their protest. A bunch of people standing in a street doesn't have that much power, but the truckers are our supply chain. So if the truckers protest, the entire world knows it, like manifested for real in their actual life. Now, what I was thinking, so all of the governments have kind of, well, I shouldn't say all, but a bunch of the governments have been very resistant to the ideas of driverless trucks and sort of driverless vehicles in general. Now, what I'm concerned about is that these protests are going to give the governments the reason to like just get rid of truck drivers altogether and push forward driverless trucks and driverless vehicles and whatever. So so I'm looking at the movement as a whole, right? So we're just going to see its raw energy and we're going to sort of go from there. So at its root, this is hope. You know, the person is trapped in this basement maze and they find a staircase and they're like, hey, maybe this is the way out. But they're like, man, I've been up 1,000 sets of stairs already. Like, am I really going to fucking do this again? In this case, you can see the night sky up here because it actually is the way out. So, the key to the nine is hope that the future can be different than the past. So, the whole thing is like the root energy of what's happening is hope, which is pretty good. Okay, so here the King of Pentacles runs into the King of Swords. And we've got the businessman against essentially the king. I mean, I guess this could be considered the military. It's a military type leader, but the King of Swords is the decision maker. And I guess if I had all of the kings together, the King of Swords would be the actual king, um, the one with all the power. So here we have business energy running into, I suppose, more like government and military energy. Now, here we're going to put something to see what comes out of this. And I guess we're just going to keep going off the top. Well, they have a child. So the military and the business king, it's like a child is what comes out of them. And it's the Page of Cups. So here we have a meeting of earth and air, if we're looking at this elementally. And these two like smash. And then young water is what comes out. The Page of Cups is a healer. It's interesting because these two might be wanting to fuck each other up, but what actually comes out of this, it looks like a really good thing. The Page of Cups is an emotionally driven healer, right? So that seems pretty good. Now, okay, the thing that I was really concerned about was that this sort of conflict or whatever it is, the protests in that movement would cause um, the trucking industry to like fundamentally change because of driverless vehicles. And let's just see straight up if that is the deal. We get the moon, and just like the puppets on a string, I mean, I would actually say that this is probably true because just like the marionettes, like the moon is puppeting them. So the two ways that I could read that is yes, this is probably like a driverless vehicle. Um, And other than that, it would just show that there is straight up manipulation happening throughout the whole scenario, right? Um, that everything that is happening is kind of being manipulated. And of course, that's true about everything on some level. But if I were to look at this as far as whether or not I think this would result in driverless cars, that is probably a yes. Um, all right. Since that shows up, I'm just going to put another thing here to find out if this is like a very quick transition or if this is a longer term deal. And it is a quick transition. Dang. I'm going to pull one more to find out if that quick transition is happening soon. I guess we'll just continue to go off the top. The Emperor, I mean, I think that's going to happen in the spring. Um, just because it's a major arcana card that says it's not going to happen like today. So, number wise, we get a 4, and that is like April. I feel like this is talking about the spring. So, fuck. That's fucked up. This is like a quick moving energy. I should just talk about the 8 for a second because here she's about to harvest all of these things and she's grown them like over a long period of time. And today is the day that she's like, all right, today's the day I chop this shit down. So it is quick action and it's commitment to action and follow through that really show up in the 8. So it is interesting that a Page of Cups is shown as what happens when these two energies meet. Um, and if you look at this that way, it's basically saying that even though this, which looks pretty fucking bad to me, this would at least be a temporary healer. Interesting. Actually, I'm going to pull another card here just to see what the fuck the Page of Cups is talking about, because this is fairly clear and it just doesn't seem to go along with this page. Ah. So much like the stimulus payments, this is money. I don't know if this is like a donation or like what the hell the deal is because it's short term and emotionally driven, but it's basically money, you know? Um, so it's like, wow, all of this sucks. Like, here, have some money. It's like the stimulus checks. They were very nice when they came, but that shit doesn't last forever, you know? So that's where we're going to sit for now. I would like anyone's input on this, and especially if you know more about the situation than I do. But feel free to ask about another angle for this question, or any comments or whatever. Feel free to let me know about those. And peace.